back to some real camera quality. Hello guys, my name is Jonathan from Stub Review, and today I am bringing you a review of Into the Storm, the new 2014 semi-found footage movie starring Nathan Kress. This is one of the main stars of iCarly, that one guy from The Hobbit that I'm not even going to try pronouncing his name, and pretty much no one else. So, I wasn't expecting much going into this movie. I'll admit the trailers were absolutely terrible. I mean, the CGI wasn't very impressive. The camera angles looked kind of bland, and overall just looked like a very generic and unentertaining found footage film. But I was surprised in two ways. Number one, this is not a found footage movie, at least partly. It's more of a half and half experience. Half the time it's normal camera, like third-person views, generally like you see in other movies, and then the other half is shot in found footage, and it switches between that very well. And the other part is this movie is actually a very fun time. Let's start with the acting. So the only notable actor in this movie is Nathan Kress, which played Freddy in iCarly, and that was an enjoyable show, and he had a lot of enthusiasm there, and that also plays out in this movie. He was the best part of the movie. He delivered good comic relief, and he was overall just a very energetic cast member. Now, there's another character in the movie, which is played by the guy who's the main leader of the Hobbits in that franchise, and he plays a principal. And I thought that his performance in particular came off a little bit forced, and I thought that he could have acted much better, especially since we've seen him pull off great performances, such as The Hobbit. Then we also have another teenage character, which I'm not sure if he's played in anything before, and he wasn't particularly bad. He was pretty good too. He was solid. He was able to pull off the emotional stress between father and son that the script required for his particular story arc. Then we have this one chick who's just there because she needs to be. I don't want to spoil that, but she does an okay job. So then we move on to the actual storm chasers in the movie, and the head of their group, which is a guy, he's been in movies before, but I can't really pronounce his name. I don't even really know it. But anyways, he did a really good job. He was playing a kind of stuck-up role where he's like, we need to make this movie no matter what. I don't care if we're in danger. I don't care if you're going to die. No, we need to make this movie, and that was his attitude, which worked well for the movie. And then we also had a few other characters. There wasn't really any comic relief, but the only other major person in that group was this woman who's trying to get home to her child, and her motive seemed compelling. And that group of that particular storm chaser cast felt real. So, as a general consensus, the acting was good, but nothing too extraordinary. Okay, so on to the story. There really isn't much of one. I'm just going to go ahead and blow over this in about 5 seconds. Giant tornadoes, mass destruction covers a town. People are trying to save each other and escape. End of plot. Now let's move on to the visual effects. Now, visual effects in this movie are very good considering its budget. Most of the environments are detailed, the destruction looks really good, and it's overall a fun time. There were a few camera angles in there that seemed a little amateurish, but overall it was very fun, terrifying in some moments. I found the audience and myself in the theater kind of flinching at stuff that was happening, and that proves that you don't need 3D to make flinching audience members. But overall, effects were good. Action was strong, definitely the main highlight of the movie. Now the last thing I want to touch up on is the writing. And is the writing good? Yes, it actually saved the movie because, as I said before, the acting was good but nothing too extraordinary, and the writing made each of the characters more enjoyable than your average found footage idiot. Most of the characters actually had a reason for filming. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm being chased by a killer, I'm going to film his face. No. It wasn't like that. As I said, every person was filming for a reason, and that made the overall atmosphere more realistic. So, as a general consensus, Into the Storm is a very fun and surprising time at the movies, especially since it looked like a complete piece of garbage, but it ended up being very good. So I'm going to award Into the Storm a 3.2 out of 5 stars. So, how'd you like the review? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment below. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'll have a link in the description to that as well. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you haven't already. And last but not least, have an excellent day.